Coming up today on the Nice Guys on Business.
With more work and with longer hours and with more people involved in projects over time, this problem is just going to go, it's not going away. The problem of overloaded inboxes is only going to get worse. And the only way you can deal with it is by changing the way you think about it.
Do you have an iPhone or you have something inferior?
Android.
You got an Android. Strick's going to wait, hold on a second. I got to find my bell here. We have an Android user. You are the one.
They beat me. Straight up. Pay them. Pay the nice guys their money. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, Nice Guy community, welcome back, welcome back. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler. It is Monday. It is the beginning of the week, and dude, I'm excited.
Why are you so excited? You really are. You're already a million miles an hour. Why are you so excited?
Well, we got all kinds of cool guests this week. We got Dmitri Leonov, Leah Woodford, Fred Miller. Today with Dmitri. You know, Dmitri is a guy that he invented SameBox, right? He's the guy that wrote the code of SameBox.
Oh, geez, I don't know. Did he invent the code? We can give him that credit. Let's do that.
All right, man, you can correct it. He can correct us if we're wrong. But you know, SameBox, we've been talking about it on and off a little bit. It's about cleaning up your inbox. Remember, we had a discussion last week about how many emails I had in my inbox.
Yeah, I think the number was 3,000.
No. It was the number I told you was like 2,023 or something, right? Well,
okay, all right.
Apparently that was wrong. That was the number of unread emails that I had.
That's crazy. All right, Nice Guy community. How many emails do you have in your inbox that have not been opened yet, unread?
I installed my SaneBox, right? And so SaneBox did its filter thing, and it went through and it cleaned it all up. But do you know how many emails it went through?
Okay. Well, I think it has a limit of 5,000. So how many did it go through?
Well, I don't think it has a limit of 5,000 because it went through 15,000 emails. That's what I had in my inbox. 15,000 fucking emails.
15,000, Strickland. So let me understand the process that you go through just for a second here. So you have an inbox and it's got 15,000 emails in it. When you open an email, does it leave your inbox or do you have to manually do something to it?
No, I have to manually delete it. Now, the other thing is I believe that SaneBox also goes through your promotions and your social tab. Like with Gmail, of course, we got the main and the social and the promotion and the promotion and the social I look at occasionally, but I know there's a lot of stuff in there. So 15,000 probably included all that, but still the 2,000 was definitely only unread emails.
Yeah. Okay. So then what happens? It goes through all that and does it give you some, I don't know, because, I approached SaneBox and basically I had the same as I have in my Gmail, because when I started doing some work for C-Suite, they gave me an email address, and they do everything reply and reply all. So you get a ton of fucking email through them, and that's fine, but that's just their thing. But I still have to manage and maintain that. I would say that I keep usually less than. Let me look at my C-Suite. I bet I have 20 emails in that inbox, if that.
Yeah, but you're not really the ideal customer for SaneBox either. But you're a freak of nature too. I think most people, if we ask them, we would say, how many people have more than 20 emails in their inbox right now? How many have fewer? And Doug, you are going to be in the 99th percentile. I'm telling you.
I get scared when I have a lot of emails in there. It gets me nervous because I use my email box, and maybe I shouldn't do this, but I use my inbox for my email. I use that kind of as my active task list for the day. That's probably not the right way to do it, but it's how I do it because it allows me just to manage. I don't want to manage 17. You know how disorganized I am.
No, I know.
Maybe I'm not disorganized. Maybe that's the wrong word. I don't like all these things hanging over. I have this issue with anxiety. It bothers me when I have more. And I now have 3 inboxes. I got my DJ inbox for that business. I have my speakers inbox. That's the DougSandler.com box. And now I have my C-Suite. And if any of them have more than, let's say, 10 or 15 now, I get nervous because collectively I really don't want more than 30 in all of them that are unopened. I want to act right now on everything. So if you send me an email, you're going to get a response right now. That's just how I am. So, but I'm dying of curiosity. So what happened next?
Well, I'm still trying to get organized through SaneBox, right? Like it categorizes stuff and it tries to learn, but it learns from what you tell it, and I haven't had enough time to really teach it yet. So, I mean, I'm really happy about the fact that my inbox seems to be pretty cleaned up, and as far as I can tell, there's nothing really important that I've missed yet. So I need to train it more, but I do love the idea of it, and I love the concept of it. And I've just got to dig into it deeper. And I'm sure Dmitri will give us more details on it. They are the sponsor today also. So if you go to the notes, go to the show notes, click on SaneBox, and you can get a $10 credit. So SaneBox is free to try, but then they've got them as cheap as like $7 a month or something. So basically you could get your first month and a half for free if you click the link on the Nice Guys, but totally free to try. I think everybody should try it.
Yeah, it's a great deal, and it is a really good tool to use. As a matter of fact, it was the tool that I put in my blog last week. I'm doing a tools, tips, and tricks. What do you call it? Like format to my blog now. I just changed the format of my blog. So SaneBox was the tool that I used in my blog last week. So Dmitri Leonov,
Drink to Buy is not reading those because that is an endorsement. If you are definitely doing a review when you write a blog and you have a tool section.
Yeah, it's a tool section. I do a review. It is official. I've actually checked it out. I'm not going from hearsay. I'm actually using the products that I am putting in the tool section. Eat, Sleep. I don't even know the freaking name of his what or her. I don't even know. Eat, Sleep, Drink, Dubai, or is it Eat, Sleep, Stay?
Oh, each drink. Oh, I don't even remember. Anyway, this is Dmitri's episode. We can talk about that on tomorrow's show. We can maybe get him to reach out to us because he's apparently too busy, consulting the president or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he does. I was seeing that. He does a lot of powerful things. That's pretty cool. So speaking of powerful, how powerful is our promise statement, which is to provide a learning experience that is entertaining and adds value to your life. If you don't feel like we are matching that or meeting the presidential seal of approval, we are not endorsing to this president of the United States, then please reach out to us. My handle on Twitter is @DJDoug. I have found, and we'll talk about this tomorrow or Thursday, that the maybe this new way of getting people to communicate with me through text messaging we could have struck on something really good.
I love it. Let's talk about that on tomorrow's episode, but that's exciting.
Okay, so let's get to our interview. Dmitri Leonov with SaneBox. He is the vice president of growth at SameBox. It sounds very interesting.
Vice president of growth. Okay, so you know what? When we said he invented it, if he's the vice president of growth, he probably didn't invent it. I mean, not that he's not an important guy, and not that we're not happy to have him on, but I probably give him a little too much credit saying he invented it. I didn't do my research there.
I think his language was rather explicit, if I remember correctly, on the show.
Oh, fucking A, I love that. All right.
So let's get to our interview. Dmitri Leonov, SaneBox, the Nice Guys on Business podcast. We are affiliated with the C-Suite Network, and we're having a lovely time doing that. Let's get to our interview right now. I am excited like no other time before because this is the episode we talk about the bane of my existence. We are getting to the root of what creates anxiety, stress, heartache, misinterpretation, and so much more distress in life. No, we're not talking about my first marriage, but we are talking about, of course, email, everybody. Dmitri Leonov. He is a internet entrepreneur and VP of growth at SaneBox. I am a fan, a believer, and a user of this amazing tool. Welcome to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, Dmitri.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure, my honor for sure. And just so you know, I'm assuming you have never been introduced with my ex-wife in any particular.
No, I was just thinking about that. I've never been introduced as an improvement over any merit. It's perfect.
Oh man, it's great. Well, that's what we're all about. We're about getting to the root of the problem right to begin with. So it really is great having you on the show, Dmitri. Thanks for agreeing. Nice Guy community. So you're aware, I am a user of SaneBox. This is not an infomercial, but because I was such a believer and a lover of what this system is, I do some digging and investigation. I said, who is at the root of this, and how can we figure out how this can be brought to more people? Now, whether it's SaneBox, of course, I know SaneBox has competition, but we're not going to talk about competition. We're just really going to talk about the idea of email being a huge deterrent in people's lives, not just professionally, but personally as well. let's talk about the SameBox story. I really just want to talk about the overall story. Where did you discover that there was this issue, or where did SameBox discover that email is something that we really need to approach as a problem that needs to be solved, the system that needs to be fixed?
Sure. So, we started the company 6 years ago, in 2010, and really the problem we were trying to solve, we kind of saw the glimpse of the problem really at the time, and that was essentially the signal to noise ratio in an average inbox. And our early customers were pretty much exclusively, very public people, so the journalists, venture capitalists, CEOs, entrepreneurs who got a ton of email. And so we saw how, for them this is becoming a really, really big problem. And for the first year or so, when we Googled our customers, we would notice that they are, very publicly busy, heavy email people. Yeah. And then within a year and a half or so, we saw that that's started to change really quickly. And now it's literally everyone. All right. And so when we look at the data of the average volume of emails that an average person receives, it grows, first of all, about 7% every year. And today, an average person gets 140, 150 emails a day. Oh, and this is not spam. This is like legitimate emails.
Right. So let me share two words with you for a second, and then I just want you to, I'm not even going to give you any, there's not going to be any emotion with the two words. I'm just going to say the two words, and you just tell me what your thought is on the two words. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Reply all.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? I mean, reply all. Seriously? Do people really need to reuse reply all?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of, just to break it down into a couple of sub issues here. The first one is, first of all, there shouldn't be that many people on the thread to begin with, right? So be careful who you CC.
Right.
And the second thing that's really interesting is the BCC factor. So when you when you are BCC'd and you hit reply all, you're potentially putting the original sender in a really bad situation. That's actually happened with me. I BCC'd somebody on a thread and they reply all. And it just make me look like a jackass.
Yeah, because I'm assuming that you're including somebody in a BCC just to kind of, hey, on the down low, we're including you in this information, but we're not looking for you to actually do anything with it. And that's just like the unwritten rule, right?
Yeah, well, and not only that, the people that are CC'd, they now suddenly are thinking like, well, who else was on this thread? Right?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Didn't think about that. So reply all. I really just don't understand it. But that's kind of, I don't want to muddy the water. I really want to stick with a problem or a situation that I think we are all trying to get to with our email, and that is we all want an empty inbox. I think that's what we want. I mean, this is almost never the case. What does your experience tell you about systems most people have in place regarding email and why that is just not happening?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't necessarily agree. So there are, from what we've seen, there are two kinds of people. There are people who don't care about how many emails they have in their inbox.
Yeah.
And they just leave everything in their inbox and they use it as an archive. And that is just, it works for them, right? I would.
That would kill me. That does not work for me.
Right, exactly. So, like, for those people, it's okay. But I would still venture to say, even for them, it's not okay. They think it's okay, but there's a kind of a cognitive load that is very heavily weighed on their brain.
Yeah.
During this time. Well, and then there's the rest of us, people like you and me, who do try to get to inbox zero. And the problem with that is, unless we change the way we think about it, unless we kind of change the game, we will eventually lose. And we are losing every day, right? And this is because essentially email is like Tetris, right? So no matter how good you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right. More keep coming, and they keep coming faster, right? Every year, the volume of emails keeps growing. So today, if an average professional spends 2.5 hours a day on email, next year is going to be 7% more, 7% more, 7% more. And so there is just, you'll never win this game. And so one of the things we've noticed with some of our customers, especially those early customers who are still obviously using us, they get 1,000 emails a day or more. And somehow they manage not only to reply to every personal email sent to them, but they get to inbox zero almost every day. And so we try to figure out, so what is it about those people that separates them? And really, it's a system. They have a system that they stick to religiously, and it allows them to get to inbox zero every day. So it's all about organization. It's about kind of thinking about it differently, I would say.
All right, so you gave me a really good lead in, Dmitri. So in a perfect world, what does email look like? What does the inbox look like? And I have to, let me even back up for a second. I think it goes even further than your inbox. It goes into the organization of your email. Although your inbox is the area that is the most stress causing, because it's almost like the area that this needs action immediately. This is an inbox. Hey, motherfucker, you do not have this has not been opened yet. You need to open this email right now. And that's all it screams to me whenever I come to my email. And I'm like, oh shit, I have not opened this email. I need to get to it. So in a perfect world though, what does email look like?
By the way, I want to say that I haven't been on a podcast where you can drop F-bombs so frivolously.
I
love that, and I'm going to participate if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
That's amazing.
Please participate as much as you want to. Yeah, well, we started. Gary V came on the show. I don't know if you know Gary, but he is a prolific user of the F-bomb. So we feel like we're on episode about. I think by the time this airs, we'll probably be on episode 320 or somewhere in that area. The first, I would say 50 or 60, we were very clean, and then we just said, "Fuck it, we can't be this way. This is not us." So feel free to use whatever language comes naturally to you, Dmitri.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm not gonna force it. It's gonna happen naturally.
Okay.
So I think the first thing that is really important to keep in mind for what email looks like, and this is outside of SameBox or outside of your inbox, but it's around your time and how you manage your inbound priorities. The problem is that your email or your inbox is basically a to-do list that other people can write on for you.
Yeah.
Right? And the problem with that is that because of mobile phones haven't really helped us at all, because of the nature of phones that are always in our pocket, laptops are always in our lap. Email has become our default number one priority. It's the first thing we go to when we wake up, the first thing we do when we get into the office, and it is very, very easy to get sucked in. Right? You start kind of typing away, and next thing you know, it's lunchtime, and you haven't done anything productive.
Right? Or you don't think you've done anything productive.
Well, no, actually, that's the opposite. You think that you've done something productive,
that's
right?
True. That's true.
Right?
That's true.
But really, all you did is you reacted to a bunch of people's requests, right? Like work that's not on your to-do list. And the real solution here is to time box your email. And so, what I do personally is I do check my inbox first thing in the morning and when I get into the office, but I scan it for the fires that need to be put out right now, right? The urgent and important stuff. And then I close it and I literally block off half hour to an hour on my calendar. Well, it's a full hour, but I don't usually use the whole time for email processing. So this is my time to actually do my email. And so by doing this, you're essentially putting email into your own priorities,
it's a part of your schedule. It's not a part of their priority schedule.
Exactly. Well, and when you do sit down to do your email, it's important to understand that there are basically three kinds of emails. There's noise, the unimportant stuff. There is stuff that needs to be dealt with right now, and there's stuff that needs to be dealt with later. So it's not actionable or not urgent until later. And the problem is that most email interfaces kind of treat all of those emails equally. Every email client, every email webmail, whether it's Gmail, Outlook, iPhone, you name it, gives the same amount of space on the screen to every email. Right? And so for your brain, and there's a ton of research done on the attention switching costs and kind of the cost of multitasking and all of this stuff. There's a lot of science behind it. But basically, it's very hard for our brain to distinguish between an email from your most important customer and a newsletter. Right? Once you think about it, it's easy, but kind of subconsciously, it is not easy. And so your lizard brain kind of treats them the same way, right? Lizard brain is looking for a signal, and it's
it all looks the same.
Overloaded.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Right. And really, this is where this is why we build our product, SameBox. But really, you can. There's ways to hack around it without the use of SameBox or other tools, but it's the philosophy behind it. It's really important.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there, but just to share with the Nice Guy community for a second, this was the first time that I actually was getting some level of organization to my email when I was introduced to SaneBox just last year. And what's so great about it is you can send an email to 2 weeks at SaneBox, and CC whoever else, or you include as a part of the email whoever you're including, and the email will ping you back 2 weeks later. I don't even understand how it works, but it works. It's really great. It's like magic. It's like magically this thing that I don't need to act upon right now, but I do need to act upon in 2 weeks because I've given myself that much. I'm the one setting the schedule. They're not telling me, and I'm telling them. SameBox is coming back to me 2 weeks later and say it's time to act upon this as you asked me to.
Yeah.
So very, very cool. I mean, I know there's a number of things that SaneBox can do that way, including spam and throws things into a big black hole. I love that one too. That one's are all the things that I don't ever have to read, don't want to read, not even sure why I got it to begin with. So, and it's a learning tool. I mean, SaneBox actually learns your processes. You have the ability to undo anything that SaneBox does. Again, this is not a commercial for SaneBox. I'm just saying that what's so cool about a system like this is that there's a lot of these things that people have already thought of this shit before. I thought I was the only one that had these problems, and then I started talking to other people. I'm like, oh, no, we have a problem too. I remember sitting, sorry, Dmitri, I'm going to bore you with a very short story. I had probably a lunch or dinner or something at a conference that I was at, and I was sitting down with two other people. And I don't know how the topic of email came up, but I started talking about email and what your comfort level is and how many emails you can have before you start to feel a little bit of stress in your life. And I said, I would limit it at 30 emails in my inbox. And I have 3 different inboxes. So 30 emails in total in my inboxes that until I start to feel like, I'm getting a little out of control. And they both kind of looked at each other and laughed. Now, I'm a solopreneur, so I work in an office by myself. I never had staff. Don't want any staff. I don't think people can handle me at this level all the time. So they looked at each other and they kind of giggled. And I said, "Why is that a lot?" They said, "Are you fucking nuts? Is that a lot?" And the one lady that was sitting there was a guy and a girl. The lady said to me, "I have 9,000 emails in my inbox." I said, "That would drive me fucking nuts." Yeah. If I had that amount of email in my box, so SaneBox or a company like SaneBox, can you get involved in a situation where can you fix something that is already broken? I mean, you're not looking to fix their entire system. You're just working on email. Can you fix a system that's that far gone, though?
We can. I mean, the thing is, lobotomy would not, that's outside of our jurisdiction. Right. But no, we can. Really, what we do is the philosophy behind it is if you have 9,000 emails in your inbox, basically most of them are not actionable anymore. Right. It's just stuff that they didn't delete. With or without SameBox, what I recommend in that situation, if you do want change, if you do want to kind of start fresh, is literally create a new folder, call it old mail, drag all those 9,000 emails into that folder, and start from scratch. That now you have 0 emails in your inbox. And you can still, most people don't want to delete stuff out of their inbox or archive it because they're afraid of not being able to find it. It's in this other folder. It's right there, right? Yeah. I mean, your inbox is the equivalent of the physical snail mailbox, right? And when you get an envelope in your inbox, you open it up. You don't stuff it back in there, right? Otherwise, your inbox would flow.
Put it somewhere else.
It's the same idea. Just file it somewhere else. And literally anywhere else will do.
Let me ask you this. Sorry, did you answer I don't remember if you answered the question.
Well, no, so we do have a feature. So when you sign up, when you have 9,000 emails, what we would do is we would process your latest 5,000 emails. So we would take your 5,000 emails, we would analyze them, and what we do. And by the way, so if you want to sign up for SameBox, you can just go to samebox.com. What we'll start doing is we analyze how you interact with your inbox in the past. We look at which emails you open, which emails do you respond to, how quickly you open them, how quickly you respond, how often, how far back, and so on and so on and so on. And all of this is without ever looking at the body of your emails. We only look at the headers, which is basically the timestamp and the sender and a bunch of data that comes with it. And so it's super secure, super private, because even if we were to get hacked, and we are very, very secure, but even if something bad would happen, we just don't have any of your sensitive information.
Right.
And then what this also allows us to do is we work with literally any email setup that you use. So any client, any provider, any device, because all we do is we create a folder that lives in your email, and you can see that folder anywhere you do your email. So even if a new email client gets invented tomorrow, we will automatically work with it without doing any work.
Do you think that we're working on, and again, I'm not slamming SameBox or any other email software app or provider. Do you think we're working on the wrong end of the problem, though? Because by the time it gets to 9,000 or by the time it gets to several hundred, I'm thinking that there is a system error, and the system issue or error is not coming from that specific person. If I look up the chain of an organization, and I always say this jokingly when I'm speaking in front of rooms full of people, that if you are the guy that has the executive that has 0 inbox messages, so 0 unopened, and your next person has 1,000 or 500 or 200, I said, the problem is with you. You're the one that it starts with, because it's somewhere up the chain, that CEO of that organization or somebody that's higher up, I'm assuming they don't want to deal with having 1,000 unopened messages. So somewhere along the way, that inbox is 0 for somebody. And that's where I always tell everybody, that's where your problem is right there. You've got to get them to buy into the philosophy that 0 inbox is really the only way to be. And I don't know how to convince people that you're going to have happier employees if you have 0 emails in your inbox that are unopened.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And we work with our enterprise customers on kind of creating those policies. And so some of them actually use our on our enterprise product side, we have kind of a leaderboard, which tracks how good every employee is at.
Oh, that's good. A little competition.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Like people get really excited about this.
No, it sounds like they should be. So tell me, Dmitri, in a perfect world, what is an email that is going out look like? I mean, you guys have done all sorts of analysis. Obviously we know that there's a bunch of factors that go into what does a good email look like, the length of the email and all that. What does a good email look like? If you're a giving, kind person and you want to send a good email, what does it look like on the outbound side?
Oh, that's such a good question. Thank you. Okay, so first, the subject needs to be actionable. Don't put things like, things or something very generic.
Yeah, that sucks.
Try to make it searchable, so if somebody wants to search for it, they can just do it by subject. And if there's an action item, put it there. If the email is not urgent, put not urgent. Or if it's urgent, put urgent. Right? Make it actionable. Kind of a secondary to this is if your email is on a longer side, bold the key takeaway or the key action item or a sentence that if that's one thing that the person takes out of it, it should be that. So feel free to bold. And the other thing, this isn't really an email that's not so much about typing of the email, but the process of how you do it. So every email interface, the way you look at it top down. So first you put the recipient, subject, body, attachment.
Say it again. Recipient, subject.
The subject, then the body. You type the body, right? And then the attachment link is at the bottom.
Right.
And really, that's reversed. That's completely the backwards way to do it. The better way to do it is if you're sending an email with an attachment, like you kind of want to start with the attachment, right? So that's what the email is about. So you first include the attachment, then type up the body. Think through the body of the email, make it concise, proofread it, etc. Now, when you're done with reading the body, you actually know what the subject should be because now you can summarize it. So next, put the subject, and then lastly, put the recipient. And what this avoids, and I am so guilty of this. I have fast fingers, so I send the email before proofreading it, and immediately regret it. So, right? Well, Gmail has an awesome feature called undo send.
Oh yeah, I have mine delayed. I get 20 seconds.
Well, yeah, that saves me every time. But without that, if the email is really important, I literally don't put the recipient just to avoid that. And so, yeah, reversing the order of typing the email.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's not like you're addressing the recipient last. What you're saying is you're filling it in last. That gives you that extra cushion of shit. I shouldn't have sent that.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a number of oh fuck moments.
Yeah, I mean that happens to me all the time. I mean that's like on a daily basis because part of the problem with email is reading somebody's tone also. And oftentimes when I'll go back and reread an email that I just sent out, I'm like, oh shit, they might have seen the tone of that or heard it differently than I meant it. Emoticons, I know they're there. I don't use those in email. I mean, do you use those at all in email?
And an occasional smiley face with a wink.
Yeah, the old school one, the one made by the keyboard, not the ones that Bitmoji or whatever those companies are that are out there.
Exactly.
Okay, so share with me as we come to the end of the first round of questioning here. Give to me like the future. Where do you think that email is going? I mean, do you think it's going to be more in video? Do you think there's going to be virtual reality email? Do you think there's going to be shorter emails? Do you think email is going to go away? What's the future of email?
Well, let me, if you don't mind, I'll kind of twist your question a little bit. I think it's not so much about email; it's the future of communication. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's good.
So where for years now, people have been saying that email is outdated; it needs to be reinvented; it needs to blah blah blah. And a few things have come around. So you have project management tools like Asana or Trello that kind of help you manage actual projects. Then you have instant messaging tools like Slack and well, Slack is kind of the only one.
Yeah.
Right. And essentially, all of these tools are an inbox, right? There's your Asana inbox, there's your Slack inbox, and really, what this has resulted in is the number of stuff that we have to process keeps going up. And email is actually on the better side because at least email is asynchronous, so you can open it at your convenience. With Slack, or instant messaging in general, there's the expectation of immediate response and immediate reading, which is way, way worse for your productivity, right? It's completely distracting.
Yeah. It's like sending somebody a text message. It's like, oh, geez, when I get something on my phone, I got to freaking respond to that like immediately. And I don't know why my brain goes in that direction. I guess that's just the expectation that we have about text messages. Yeah,
it's terrible. And the thing, exactly. It's a completely a cultural thing. There's no like rhyme or reason or logic to it. So the email is not going away. Email has already been significantly reduced for internal communication through the help of things like instant messaging and project management tools.
Right.
But for external communication, for dealing with customers or really anyone outside of the organization, if a new tool is invented, it will have exactly the same problems that email has.
Right.
So it's an inbox of incoming stuff, right? Whether it is a physical snail mail or something else, it's not going to go away. And the problem is with faster communication cycles, which again the mobile phones don't help, right? Like there's just a lot more back and forth going on.
Yeah.
With more work and with longer hours and with more people involved in projects and over time. This problem is just going to go. It's not going away. The problem of overloaded inboxes is only going to get worse, and the only way you can deal with it is by changing the way you think about it.
Completely agree. Dmitri runs a company or runs the sales. I guess the VP of growth. That sounds like that's sales related. Is that sales related?
I mean, it's sales, marketing. Everything that's not product or engineering.
No, I totally get that. So a small organization, but big in power for sure. SameBox is the name of the company that he's the VP of growth of. I will make sure that we put in the show notes a link so that you guys can take advantage. And I think if I remember correctly, when I used SameBox, there was like a 2-week free trial. You guys still have that going on?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. We'll make sure that we put a link to that in our show notes. We'll make it really catchy, like I don't know, something /nice guys or something like that.
Maybe a couple of F-bombs. Don't be afraid with.
Don't be shy. So Dmitri, I need you to take off your SaneBox hat for a second and put on your entrepreneur hat for just a moment while I go through this round of rapid fire questions and answers. So are you ready to hit this like you own and run and manage your very own business?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So here we go. So Dmitri, be relatable. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, what do you suck at?
Single tasking.
Yeah, that's all guys.
Yeah.
We think we can do multiple things, but no, single tasking. Excellent. Be transparent. How did you pay your bills when you first got going before SameBox really hit the ground running?
Well, after college, I graduated in the worst possible economy, and I somehow decided to go into investment banking, which was just the worst time to do that. So I paid some bills at the time, and then I spent 7 years at Yahoo, back when it was not terrible.
That's good. But wait a minute, so they were actually paying at that time?
Yeah, it was actually cool.
No, I get it. Be confident. What do you do as an entrepreneur that's as good as it gets?
Decide on priorities.
Interesting. Good one. I was going to say, I bet you were a really good systems guy, but you're right. Decide on priorities. That's a system in itself.
Yeah, same thing. Exactly.
Be humble. What experts did you need to call upon to make shit happen when it wasn't happening?
Guys that are really good at marketing.
Interesting. For a marketing guy to call on other guys that's marketing, that's challenging. I know that is very humbling to do that. As a guy that's written the book, to call other authors and ask advice, it's very challenging to do that as well. So.
Yeah, but the thing about marketing is and Gary Vee talks about this, it constantly changes, right? There's no experts on marketing anymore, because by the time you're an expert, it's already outdated.
That's very true. Very true. All right, I'm going to give you 4 words. I want you to put these 4 words in priority order. The priority being the first word is the most priority. So are you ready to hear the 4 words?
Let's do it.
Okay. Employees, customers, products, systems. So employees, customers, products, systems.
Okay. Customers, number 1. Employees, number 2. Now this is a tough one. Systems number 3, products number 4.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, go ahead and explain. Yeah, you can explain. That'd be great.
Well, just because we have systems in place that help us prioritize products. Right?
Yeah.
So without that, it would be no way to there's no other way to do it.
And it's interesting from a marketing perspective, and again, I don't think there's any right answer, there's any wrong answer. Some people put systems first, and I put systems last, and some people put products first, and I can't ignore the fact that you have employees and customers, and without employees being happy, your customers oftentimes aren't happy. So you got to put, so it's really a toss up, but I like the order that, so you went employees, customers, systems, and then products.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, customers, employees, systems, products.
Excellent. Even more excellent. You put your own spin on it. Do you have your cell phone anywhere near you?
I do.
Excellent. Here come the last 2 questions. Do you have an iPhone or you have something inferior?
Android.
You got an Android. Strick's gonna wait. Hold on a second. Let's find my bell here. Excellent job. We have an Android user. You are the one. Okay, go to your texting app and tell me the last text message you either sent or received.
It is it's an emoji. It's a thumbs up emoji.
Oh wait, it's for me. Wait a second. You sent me a thumbs up emoji. I think
that was no, it was someone else. But I sent a lot of thumbs up emojis.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, go to your picture app. Tell me the last thing you took a picture of. R and X-rated preferred.
Nice. It is a picture of I got a haircut yesterday for the first time in a couple of months, and it was a hair styling, like a gel thing. So
Excellent.
I took a picture of that so I can order it online.
Excellent. I did not realize that you were metrosexual. Excellent.
I'm really not. There's been 2 months since I got a haircut. It was like way overdue.
Most guys don't even care. They just, I'm going to haircuttery. It's my $19 spent, and I don't give a shit what it looks like. Just get it off my head. Just get it off my head. Oh, excellent. Well, Dmitri, if our Nice Guy community wanted to get in touch with you or SameBox, how can they do that?
Support at SameBox.com. We have a chat box on our site. Yeah, anytime you guys want to reach out, please do. Over the years, we've gotten really good at fixing people's general email problems that have nothing to do with us. Because whenever something goes wrong with people's email, they always, first thing they do is blame us.
Blame you, right?
And so we we fixed it anyway, and so we got really good at this.
And Nice Guy Community, just so you're aware, the reason that Dmitri is even on the show, because I had a learning call with SameBox where I actually walked through a bunch of steps, and as a result of that, I said I need somebody come on the show that's just as good at support as being a guest on a podcast. And your company, they were all about it. They were ready to just jump in. I mean, I love that because I think it shows. I don't want to give the name, but I am working with another vendor right now, another application that I use on my computer. And basically they said, sorry, we don't have phone support. And not only do we not have phone support, but it could take us up to 24 hours to get back in touch with you. I'm like, if I have a problem, I need it fixed now. And I found the exact opposite with SaneBox. Every time I need something, I can either go on live chat, I can actually speak to a live person, I can send an email that almost immediately gets responded to. And I'm a huge fan, which is partly why I wanted to have you guys on the show, because it is not just about the products and the services that you offer, Nice Guy Community, or Dmitri from SaneBox. It is all about the relationship that you're going to build with the customers that you have. So hats off to SaneBox, and for you, Dmitri, for agreeing to be a part of the show today.
Thank you. And I want to give hats off to our support team. We have an amazing support team. So yes. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Nice Guy Community, never underestimate the power of nice. We'll make sure that we put Dmitri's information in the show notes, how to reach out to his company and take advantage of the free trial that SaneBox is offering. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Fill up your week with the Nice Guys. The Nice Guys on Business are publishing 5 episodes a week. Isn't that against the Geneva Convention?